Oh, my friend, Meshell Baker, you are a beautiful human being, and I am so excited that you're here with me. We're going to talk about the legacy of optimism, the vocalist. You just completely shine in this legacy. This is one of your strongest out of a score of 10. I believe you scored 9.9 on this legacy. And some of those essential traits are self-motivated, provides direction, optimistic, with some desirable traits of analyzing pitfalls, being frank, and being assertive. So balancing those two together and being optimistic is fabulous.
Yay!
How do you feel about that?
I love the, I'll say honestly, originally when I was doing it, I was like, oh, this is taking a long time. And I remind myself, good things come to those who wait. And so then when I got the feedback from it, it was very inspiring and just really encouraging to see that the diligence with which I've built my character was shining through.
Yeah. And your character and your diligence shines through amazingly. The optimistic behavior generally means being, it generally means that you think through everything that everything's going to be all right. You're self-motivated and you're advanced in your business acumen. So all those tools that a CEO, an owner of a business need to do. How do you see these behaviors showing up in your business success?
I would say optimism first is that the energy of which I exchange and deliver to my clients, they are often coming to me and attracted to me because of my optimism and passion. They get a sense of something that they're looking for themselves personally or for their team and employees, and they're wanting me to infuse that. So it's really creates an incredible attraction. People hear me and hear my voice or hear me talk, and they know almost immediately. And if they don't know immediately, then they follow me and stalk me just to reinforce. But after repeatedly hearing me is when they will come back. And then the sincerity and trust is, I'm very honest about what we do, what I deliver, my deliverables. I'm honest when I miss the mark. So there's I incorporate a lot of these in there, and curiosity is what allows me to, as I'm going through the process of interviewing them to see what I'm going to deliver, I ask a lot of questions about their background, their experiences, what led them to this point. And most importantly, I'm always curious about when you heard me, right? What was it that in your heart that you knew, or what was the epiphany of that moment you were like, Meshell can do this for me? And that's what I'm always curious to know, because that's the deliverable.
That's awesome. And for me, I will tell you, it's your self-motivation. How do you motivate yourself?
Oh, well, great question. I have a routine in the morning and throughout the day, and it's a daily practice. I exude so much energy, and I use a lot of energy in the work that I do throughout the day. So, like putting it in, so it's that in order for it to come out, it has to first go in. So feeding and fueling myself first thing in the morning is everything. When I wake up, the first thing I remind myself every morning is that I am a blessing.
Yeah.
And I say I get to be a blessing. And that allows me to calibrate back to when things are challenging me, or when I'm in front of challenging people, especially, I go, well, how can you bless this person? Or if I'm behaving counter to being a blessing, I will feel it in my body immediately. And I'll like, oh, that wasn't very blessing like, Meshell. So yeah, But that it's the daily practice first thing in the morning has a lot to do with how I am able to generate so much energy.
That is so awesome. I will tell you that the vocalist, which is the optimistic behavior, is one of my favorite behaviors of all the 10 that I've defined, because it's based on top leaders building their business by looking for the good in people and looking for the good in business. Tell me a bit about your people first ideas.
Well, and it's not my idea. Nobody's coming to mind right now. I know that there's a movement of the conscious entrepreneur or the socially responsible, socially conscious entrepreneurs, where they really look at how we heal our world and it's people, right? So it's people make businesses meaningful, right? It's the business is about people. People are a part of the business. They run the business and then they go sell to other people. So it's always interesting, especially being a part of sales, where everything is profit driven. People want to talk about numbers. They want to talk about digits. And it's a rare conversation that I actually have. I'm beginning to have it more often. I'll say as the years go, as more people are becoming conscious of what happens when you put people first, and they're starting to see, I know Harvard Business Review is constantly publishing results and sales and on profits and profitability of the companies that invest in their people. The companies that are the most sought after companies and places to work, like Apple and Amazon and Google, they have extraordinary practices about how they treat their people and how they hire people. And, it's organizations like that don't even look for people because they're so sought after, right? People are seeking to work for them. Yet and still, it's not the standard. It is the, it's the anomaly. And that's where I seek to, how can we make this the standard? Most of humanity works for small business. And so right now, as we've experienced with the pandemic, it's not going to be governments that heal our planet. It's going to be businesses. And since most of people work for small businesses, how can we help small businesses to invest in their people? Because traditionally, small business is where the challenge happens. They're so busy trying to get the business and fulfill the business and follow up with the business that they rarely have time to really invest in the business and their people. So how do we help them, the small business owner, to put their people first so they can thrive and grow?
That's awesome. That is completely awesome. You mentioned something earlier, which during our conversation, about a month and a half ago, you mentioned to me too, that really struck my heart. And it's the difference between I have to and I get to. How does this mindset help you shift your business?
Well, one of the things that happens if you've ever listened to someone list off in a flurry of all the things they have to do, they're rarely smiling, they're rarely in a good mood, and generally after you listen to them, you're drained. You're not even in a good mood anymore. You actually feel bad for them or overwhelmed just from listening to them. It's not a term that evokes enthusiasm.
Right.
It's not an encouraging term. And so replacing it, right, the verb tense with I get to, it's more of recognizing that it's always a choice, and it brings about accountability to your behaviors, right? When I have to, it's almost like there's someone out there making you, versus when I get to, I'm actually opting in and choosing to actively participate in my decision making and therefore my outcomes. So when I get to, I don't get to blame anybody.
That is so,
I'm very accountable and responsible.
that is so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Meshell. I absolutely love that. Question. Are leaders naturally born, or is there work to do to ensure that they stay empowered and optimistic?
Well, I mean, I think that's a great question. And I think, there's two school of thoughts. If you recall being in, elementary school, there's always one kid who is bossy,
Yeah. Yeah.
controlling everything, telling people what to do, right? So I don't know if that's natural or if that kid comes from a household where that behavior was, they're mimicking what they saw. So I don't know if you can say if it's natural. I know, but in order to evolve your leadership abilities, I definitely believe it requires work.
Mhm.
Great leaders work at being great leaders. They are the ones who will have coaches and the ones who take programming and they go to retreats and they read books. And so when you really follow some of our most incredible leaders and see that the work they put on a daily basis to sharpen their sword, their mind, so to speak, you'll know that it's not natural.
Yeah.
Even if it was natural, to grow it and to harness its true power, they work.
Yeah. And I agree with you 100% because I think leaders are naturally curious. They're naturally optimistic. And those are the ones who really study their craft. They study how to treat, how to best serve a company and understand that it's people that come first.
Yes.
So I get what you're saying, and it's beautifully said. What's your favorite song?
So my favorite song is Lovely Day by Bill
Love.
Withers.
Oh.
Right. So it's a song that when I was going through a difficult time in my life, I would sing it to myself while looking in the mirror.
Mhm.
And if you listen to the words, it is everything. And so still to this day, it's a ringtone on my phone. I use it as an alarm sometime. And it just reminds me that it's a lovely day. And just I don't care what's going on outside of me. It's always a lovely day. And it's always a choice. I get to choose.
Any chance we can get you to sing a couple of lines?
Oh, I come from a long line of tone deaf people.
Okay. Okay. I thought it
Yeah.
was worth asking.
We've attempted to harmonize at many a family gathering, and it just turned into sheer giggles. Like it's hysterical laughter. Like, oh, this is bad. This is really bad.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Well, Meshell Baker, as the vocalist, the front woman of the band, you are amazing, and I appreciate you spending this time with me.
Well, thank you so much, Paula. I'm so excited about what you're putting together. I'm so honored to be a part of this project, and I just am excited for the people who get to participate and be inspired when they go through and read all of these incredible stories, mine included, but the others as well, because I look forward to reading the others myself. So thank you
Great.
for the opportunity.
Thank you.